Going medieval with torture devices. Let's explore that together in this episode of Ripley's Believe It or Not. Things that go crunch. In medieval times, if they could crush it, they would find a way to do it. Fingers, heads, toes, you name it. This particular implement in here is called a thumb screw. The basic premise of it is that you just put your fingers in there and start tightening the screws, little by little, until they crush your fingers. Now inside of here, there is tiny little knobs that will go into the beds of your nails until they extracted from you whatever information they wanted to extract. This particular device in here was used also to crunch things, like your head. They would put your head between the vise and they would start cranking it down little by little. This is a particular case where being a tough nut to crack was probably not very healthy for you. The Italian pear of Agony, not as exotic nor as delicious as they may sound. It was actually a very nasty device. They would put it in your mouth or anywhere else they wanted to and kind of open it up like this and kept opening it until they would tear your flesh, and then ultimately you would choke to death and confess. Of course, how can you confess if you have your mouth full of a pear? The truth about chastity belts. Now, much has been said about these fabulous devices in here that were really mainly used, or so they said, to protect the ladies against rapists and other kinds of immoral acts. This lovely device was used by husbands as they went away to war or boar hunting or whaling or whatever else people went to that never came back from in the 18th century to keep their lady safe from, that. Of course, even though the husband kept the key, one has to wonder why all the kids in town looked an awful lot like the town's locksmith at the time. Brank masks or skull masks were used for women who were nags or back talkers or who just annoyed their husbands enough so that their husbands had an excuse to put these lovely devices on. They were made out of wrought iron. They were very heavy, and they had a few wonderful features like this tongue depressor. So when you put the mask on, so they couldn't talk. Some of them even had giant built-in bells like this one, so that then when they were paraded in public, nobody could miss the offender. The infamous Iron Maiden of Nuremberg, Germany. This fiendish torture device will probably send a shiver up your spine. Let me just give you a little tour. This sarcophagus-like box, in spite of the friendly maiden face, was filled with these incredibly sharp spikes that would close on the victim and pierce several vital parts in the body without totally killing him. That means that little by little, the victim would bleed to death and linger in agony, making this both a torture device as well as an execution device. Believe it or not. If you had to endure one of these fiendish devices, which one would you choose? Why don't you tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, and also go to our website for all the show notes and extras. It's the unsanitary slits with teeth in the bottom, and it's like, let's put a little heart, yay! Makes it all better, honey. How fashionable.